Hey, guess who? It's Dottie again. Can you handle it? Another video already. 2 in 1 day. Here we go. This video is 9 days till Christmas. I still haven't done any shopping. I'm not ready. I'm broke. I feel like Ebenezer, except for I'm in a good spirit, pretty much. Just don't have a whole lot of money. So, we'll have to see what happens. I think I may be shopping on Christmas Eve, which absolutely sucks. But, you gotta do what you gotta do. I don't want things to get shut off, so I gotta pay the bills, right? I hate it when you have to rob Peter to pay Paul, or whatever they say. You know, it's finances being tight sucks. I mean, my finances are tight, it seems like, all year. But yet, why does it seem like at Christmas time, 10 times worse? I don't know. Sucks. Whatever. It is what it is. And ideal. Luckily, sitting here making a video in front of you guys doesn't cost a whole lot of money. I just gotta make sure I keep that internet bill paid, otherwise I won't be able to load them. So, there you go. What I'm going to talk about, a girl named Melissa sent me a message with a question. Do you think, looking back, that you could have done this without weight loss surgery? This being lost all this weight. If so, how? If not, why? Can I just say that that is a very tough question, really. I haven't written anything down, so I apologize if there's a lot of I don't knows. I think first of all I should start by saying that surgery was my last resort, and I didn't want to have surgery. I didn't want to. I wasn't necessarily afraid, maybe a little bit. I was afraid of the gastric bypass and the lap band, quite honestly. I know that probably sounds weird to you guys, but the gastric bypass, rerouting intestines and this and that, and just the thought of it freaked me out. And the lap band, having a foreign object with some little port, which I've never seen, but it just, that thought freaked me out too. And I never wanted to have surgery. My ideal would have been to do this the good old-fashioned way of diet and exercise and taking care of your mental, your soul. That's the way I would have liked to have done it, I guess. But sometimes you need a little help, and sometimes someone like me who doesn't like asking for help needs to swallow the pride or whatever it is and just ask for help, because that's the only way that it's going to work. Last year, January of 2009, I started a medical weight loss program through the doctor's office, which was just a very low-calorie diet, like 800 calories a day, and I would go to the doctors and I would get my blood drawn every few weeks and get checked up on, and I was doing really well with that. I lost 60-some pounds, I think, in a few months. I was feeling great in May of 2009 when I turned 39. I was feeling great. I was so proud of the weight that I had already lost via that way. But then, I think it was July, and I hadn't gotten into an exercise routine, I should say that too. The very low calorie eating was enough at that point. I had dropped some weight, but I hadn't gotten into an exercise routine. Excuse me, which is very important. Anyway, fast forward, July. My knee started bothering me. Very, very much so, my right knee. So much so that I could barely walk. And it sent me spiraling down into this pit of depression. And I had to sit one day and just do some soul searching and say, okay, what's it going to take for this knee pain to go away? Maybe some exercise, maybe some therapy, but guess what? With the knee pain as bad as it was, there wasn't any exercise I could do. I could have swam, but I didn't have a swimsuit, and I was very, 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 very large. And I'll be honest, I was not going to put on a swimsuit and go in some public gym somewhere. It wasn't going to happen. It just wasn't. I was too self-conscious, too, excuse me, shy, scared, whatever it was. I wasn't going to do it. My husband had had gastric bypass in 2002. My mom never had a chance to get surgery, but she really wanted it. She was very morbidly obese. She had big leg problems. And the knee pain that I was starting to have made me think of all the leg problems my mom had. Her legs, her left leg, upper extremity part of her leg, in the back of it, like behind her knee, she had a growth like this big. I'm not kidding. Her leg probably weighed 100 pounds. Her lower parts of her legs were like very dark purple, nearly black. And I had never seen that until she went into the hospital one day, and I was just mortified. She never told me anything. She never let me in on stuff that was going on. She just kind of sat and withered and just, Anyway. And then her other leg was also very large, but she didn't have the growth on it. Because of that huge growth, doctors would not do any type of surgery. They didn't want to cut anything open. They were afraid of infection. And as it was, because she had gotten some open sores, she ended up developing MRSA and blood infections and things, and eventually that led to her death in February of 2006. So when my knee started hurting, sent me into a depression, made me start thinking of my mom. And I was like, whoa, something has got to happen here. Something's got to change. And apparently, I can't do it by myself. As much as I wanted to do it by myself, I had to admit that I needed help. And so off I went to an orientation for surgery, and that's where I learned more about gastric bypass, duodenal switch, lap band, vertical sleeve. And I had been doing some research on YouTube, and I was thinking that I was going to do the DS because I wanted to lose the weight quickly. But then it was like, wait a minute. If I was scared of gastric bypass because it was rerouting, the DS was even more so, right? So anyway, talking to the surgeon and everything, we decided on the vertical sleeve. And I was a little nervous. I was more nervous about the endoscopy test that I had to get. I was petrified of that. Oh my gosh, I was a nervous wreck. I still remember that, laying on my side and them putting me to sleep and spraying my mouth. And I was a nervous wreck, but I got through it. And I even got pictures of my stomach from that. You want to see them? Anyway, I had to ask for help, so I did. And I got surgery on December 15th, 2009. And I certainly don't regret it. But if you have the strength and the ability, mentally, physically, to not only exercise, but to cut back on your junk food, eliminate a lot of junk food, start following a surgical diet, protein first, low carbs, no carbs, or at least low carb anyway. Exercise at least 30 minutes a day. And mentally seek out friendship, support, whatever it is you need. Pray, worship. If you're there and you can handle that, then I say do it. Go for it. And have surgery be your last resort. I don't know if that's going to make a whole lot of sense to a lot of people, but I still, even after having surgery and being ever so grateful for where I am, I sometimes still think, wow, if I would have done that, or if that would have worked on my own and I would have lost, 150, 200 pounds with diet, exercise alone, without the tool, would that make anybody think differently of me? Some people probably. Me, I'm now to the mindset where I'm totally okay with the surgery, and I don't, it is what it is. It's a tool, and some people just need it, and apparently I needed it. So, I don't even know if that answered the question, but it told you my story anyway. Could I have done it without the surgery? Had I not run into those problems with severe depression and severe physical pain in my knee, yes, I think I could have done it as long as I had the 3 areas of support: the mental, exercise, diet. You need all 3, and you have to be strong enough to do it and willing to do it and ready to change. Even without the surgery, you mentally need to be there and ready to change. So, and sometimes it takes some sort of trigger in your life to make you ready for that change. And I guess in my case it was the physical issues with my mom, her death, and then me getting the pain in my knee and making me think of my mom laying in that bed immobile, having to resort to laying in a bed in her living room, immobile, and not having any quality of life whatsoever in her last year or so. And she was only 54, 55. Way too young. So I needed the tool so that I can hopefully live beyond 55. Find happiness and peace, love and joy. And I think I'm there. And come May next year, when I turn 40, I am going to be fabulously fit at 40. So Melissa, I don't know if this helped at all. I hope it did. If it didn't, send me another message with some more specifics, and I will respond. I'm so glad you asked me. It's been great to say this and to tell this. And if anyone else has any other questions, feel free to send me a message, leave me a comment, anything. I'm willing to help whatever I can, even if it's by just telling my own story and how I got through the issue or whatever. All right, I think I'm gonna end it there. I love you guys. I do. Rob, smile, okay?